Hi guys, welcome back for another Sorare Rewards opening. Um, so this is for midweek. So game week 14 was the Champions League and Europa League midweek. Not a terrible midweek. Not amazing, but nothing terrible. As usual, goalkeepers coughing up their clean sheets, and Bayern Munich losing to Aston Villa didn't help. Um, but we got a little bit of cash for the Bruges stack that got opted on. When I say the last day it got opted, I'm sure Mechela wasn't on as much as he is. But I know we're even about 90 something place because we were just outside the cash. I think we were like 94th, 95th, something like that, and we got opted up at the last minute. So that was nice to get an extra 20. But yeah, other than that, Champions League wise, lots of close ones, but just not really kind of getting over the line. Tottenham losing the clean sheet hurt for like this lineup. We got a tier 5 for it, but like if they keep the clean sheet, is what 25, 40 plus probably another 12, 14 or something. So maybe like 60 points. So we'd have been right up here in the tier 1 kind of area and getting good money. Obviously, other people would have had better, but to concede like a 90th minute um, goal, it's kind of annoying. But then it is what it is. We're still open to tier 5, but could have been a little bit nicer. As we scroll down, um, like these couple of ones here, these were literally just classic lineups I chucked in, knowing I didn't have goalkeepers for them, um, just hoping I might get lucky and get a box. And as it was, I was only just outside the box here, only like 18 points outside of the box. With Sanchez must have hit 100. Yeah, Sanchez hit 100. Goal from Kramaric for Hoyland, and assist from Kramaric. Who nearly got there. But as I say, they were just the throwaways of like the leftovers, really, more than anything. Again, some more Champions League. We've got tier 3 here for 467. Again, it was another really high scoring week in the Champions League. But the clean sheet from Bruges guys, a couple of Man Cities, and Garassi certainly helped out. So we weren't far off of getting up into that sort of tier 1 category, but we'll pull a tier 3. I was hoping, like, I was watching the end of the Man City game, I was just hoping Guardiola could just do something to get himself, because I think he ends up with about 75. Yeah, I was hoping he could do enough to just sort of nick himself into that 100. Because getting 100 from your captain's just so good. Um, but yeah, good result in general for that one. These guys, not really. I mean, Oblak conceding 4. I know Benfica are solid at home, but I was not expecting them to concede 4. Um, and then obviously losing Pep Roulette didn't help there because if we had Ortega rather than Edison, we'd probably come close to a box. Again, not much doing as we scroll through. And into challengers where like Challenger MLS, I've got a really good gallery, but again, just not able to quite match them up with each other right. Beavers DMP'd again. Um, it's confusing why Beavers has gone back to being the bench man after saying he was going to be the keeper for the rest of the season. So again, we'll have to kind of look at that one on a week by week basis, I guess. But yeah, Pooch captain with a couple of goals, Messi with a couple of goals, but nothing from these two guys. So we're decent chunk out of the way of the money in that one. Andre Blake not being able to keep a clean sheet, and Kai Wagner like a 52. Um, gave away like 3 fouls and got himself a yellow card. It's like, but he did have a big chance created, or 2 big chances created that Nathan Harriel I know missed one. I think Nathan Harriel missed 2 big chances. Like, and one of them was an absolute sitter of a header from about 3 yards out, and somehow he put it wide. Um, Yeah, well, he ended up with three big chance misses in that game, and he only come on as a sub. Played 26 minutes and got three big chances missed. Not bad for a right back. Um, but yeah, if we could have got a little bit more in this one with the two for Messi, Hill put in a good performance, Rossi put in a solid performance. We were only just outside like the cards and only 100 away from 92 from winning the comp. Um, so again, nearly, but we get another box out of it. And then we come down to limited. I was waiting on Casio for this lineup, and Casio, he's a weird goalkeeper in that he's always busy. I'm surprised he only got a 43, conceding one. Like when Casio keeps a clean sheet, he scores massive. I wonder if I can. Yeah, look, when Casio keeps clean sheets, he's 100 capable. Um, and I was thinking to myself, like, if only he could have a really good performance because, like, he got a 43, so he only needs a 90 to win the comp. As it was, he got the 43. I was hoping minimum if he got a clean sheet, we're up here into the sort of the 30 to 50 range, but we end up with a tenner, which isn't bad considering the goalkeeper didn't score great. Kai Wagner didn't score great. It's only that Peck, Pooch, and Hill basically pretty much close to 100. So that was nice. Unfortunately, when this one got knocked out of the bottom end of the prizes, which again, Houston not able to keep a clean sheet. Um, in general, I found it a really tough week to find a goalkeeper that might be able to keep a clean sheet for me. Like all of my goalkeeping options this week just sucked. Like Casio was my preferred choice purely because I know that he can get solid AA. Like Steve Clark was choice number two, even though like he was playing against Carlos Hill, and Carlos Hill always just finds a way of getting some form of decisive. Um, but yeah, every other goalkeeper I had just like Blake away to Orlando in tremendous form, just kind of sucked. Much the same again this week, I think, as well, if I remember rightly. And then I just lacked defenders in Classic um, when it's just MLS playing. So to put like Glesnes in a couple of them, and I never really fancied Philly, but it was kind of a best of a bad situation, really. So again, a box, but nothing too much for the rest of them. Into U23 and some hitting the post more than anything here, really. So Patrick Shorty choked again, conceding three and with an error to into Miami, and he's got us a box, but all he had to do was just put in an okay performance and we get a card. Um, and again, we had him in the second lineup, kind of choked, and then the third lineup he chokes. Plus, we also had Mickey van der Ven. I expected it was Van der Ven that was going to play, and I expected it was going to be Van der Ven at centre back because of not having a dodgy. So I expected Ben Davies to go and play left back, but I wasn't banking on Porro playing and Archie Gray moving from right back to centre back. Um, so yeah, that kind of surprised me. But then it doesn't surprise too much in that Porro rested the previous European game, so it's kind of more a case of trying to get Mickey van der Ven some rest as well. But yeah, the rest is just training lineup. So we did end up with we got about we must have 11 boxes and a couple of cards and about $30, something like that. I think it was. So not a bad midweek in general, um, because midweeks are midweeks. With them being Champions League specials and Europa League specials, it's so highly competitive. And with the new Champions League format, someone's smashing someone. Um, so yeah, so we'll open them in a second, but we'll get on to. I should give you a quick glance at this week's lineups, this weekend's lineups. The anti-stacks were just chucked together. They were the leftovers more than anything. Don't hold out a great hope, but if you can get a box or two, get a box or two. Into Prem, We got a couple of new pickups this week. With Son being out injured, I finally bit the bullet and picked up some extra strikers. So we got Cole Palmer and Bukayo Saka. Um, because now I've got a couple of lineups in Champ Div 1 in season, like I now needed to kind of bulk out the gallery a bit more. So that not only does it give me more Premier League options, but obviously whoever misses out in the Premier League options goes into Champ or vice versa. So I kind of fancy Tottenham against Brighton, um, and obviously City against Fulham. I think Fulham will put up a good performance, but City will probably edge it. Um, just hoping to avoid the rotation for Guardiola. Um, and then again, third choice keeper. I've gone Pickford. I expect him to concede. Hopefully, he doesn't concede three. But I was kind of like the other option was to play Bart for Bruggen. But if I played Bart for Bruggen, it felt like okay, I'm playing him against two Tottenham defenders. But I never like to try and play like people from opposing games against each other. It kind of seems a bit back to front. Um, in classic, again, just kind of chuck together little bits that I like. I think they're going to start, kind of thing. Apart from this one's not a bad lineup, to be fair. With Ollie Watkins against Man United, Martinez hopefully does it all right against them in the early game with Liverpool. Um, as we come down into Bundesliga, again we've got some playing against each other, so I had to kind of split things up, hoping I'd avoid the rotations. Um, hopefully Mittelstadt and Nubel can do well. I'm not so keen on there being a clean sheet because they're playing Hoffenheim, and Hoffenheim are a type of team who loves a 4-3 game. So hopefully they keep a clean sheet, but I don't hold out great hope. Hoping with Wirtz and Grimaldo to actually get them both playing because this is the ideal opportunity for Leverkusen to rotate against Holstein Keane, but hopefully avoid the rotation. This one here, again, we've got Kane Elise. We've got no Musiala this week. I see that he was out, so Kimmich kind of comes in with these because it's normally I play Kane Elise and Musiala together a lot of the time, but with no Musiala, Elise is going to play in the centre, and it was a kind of a choice between Kimmich or Gnabry to come in here, but I don't know. I think Gnabry there's a rotation risk, and I think it's only a matter of time until Sane comes back in the team. Um, but yeah, let me scroll through. We get down to the champion. So yeah, again, this is where I kind of like my champion lineups this week. Like I had Murillo last night, got a 70, which is kind of nice. It's a good start. Lo Celso's been amazing since he's been to Betis. And the rest of the lineups, like Undav, he's got a good chance of getting a decisive today. But yeah, I kind of don't mind the champion lineups this week. And then Murillo, Pepelu not having a great performance there. Yeah, getting into Challenger. Again this week I think it was goalkeepers again. Kind of don't really fancy any of them, but we've got some. I decided to split the Bruges boys up a bit more this week and go heavy on my more fancied ones in this lineup, um, and then kind of put the leftovers in the second lineup rather than normally I kind of play them all together and then have to kind of spread the others. But I think this is a better way of doing it this week. I think, um, and then again, I've down into limited. I've kept Poge and Peck together as usual with Hill and Freeze. I couldn't decide who was best to play as the spare defender, as the extra. Um, because again, I've not got amazing defenders this week. I went with Mike Uma. He's been in good form. AZ away at Fortuna start. Hopefully he can bag a decisive, but he's been good form against Solidere, so hopefully there. Other than that, yeah, again, like I've kind of fancied this lineup, but again, goalkeeper didn't manage to keep a clean sheet. Um, but they're all strong lineups. The awkward thing with like Kai Wagner, I don't fancy him this week because he's playing against Columbus, but Columbus could rotate. But I had to kind of keep Blake and Wagner away from Cucho and Rossi as best I could. Um, so yeah, it's like we've got once where they're together, but hopefully we can get away with it. And then so far in contender, Elba had a pretty shitty performance this morning, um, which kind of kills the lineup early when they only get a 47. But this one's had to a good start. We've got 107, so it was 100 or 95 from Wakazaki and a 71 from Eduardo, so it's not bad. Hopefully we can build on that when Cordova plays this afternoon. Um, but it feels like in contender you need a really, really, really good scoring lineup um, to get anywhere good. And then in U23, I've got one lineup I really fancy, which is this one with the Bellingham, Haaland, Elise. I kind of kept Haaland out of one of the other lineups in order to force him into this one because I like Senny Lamans today at home against Cercle Bruges, and then again the defender option. I couldn't decide whether to go Andreu or Joaquin Cease. Like it was a tough one, like away from home or in a tougher matchup. So it was kind of awkward. But again, this second lineup I kind of like as well. Stiller and Milot could definitely do something. Dezolis had a cracker of a goal in midweek, and Garcia's got probably one of the better matchups he could get. Um, but yeah, and then the third lineup, don't hold out a lot of hope, but just kind of hope you get something in there. And that's about it for that one. So let's have a look at our rewards. So we're still building up our boxes from the previous weeks. So let's open up our ETH. So we go, what's that, 770, 15, so 22, about £23 worth of ETH. And we've got a tier 5 and a tier 3 to open. So let's open the tier 5. Don't hold out much hope, but let's see what we've got. A Spanish defender from Vallecano. I mean, he's under 23, so I don't suspect he plays, but he's under 23, so it's always a bonus. Um, and then our tier 3 limited. What do we get here? Hopefully this one plays. Japanese defender from Union, Koki Machida. Don't recognise him, so I'll have a look at him in a second. But yeah, and the rest of it, we're just building up our boxes. We're up to 30 odd boxes, which is nice. And so let's have a look at the two guys we did just get in. So as I suspected, the under 23 guy hasn't done anything yet. Has he been on the bench? It's not going to tell me from there, is it? Oh yeah, of course, yeah, he's out. So he's had 5 bench appearances and 3 not on the bench. Um, so you never know. Maybe he gets a run out at some stage later in the season. And Machida looking like he plays. Oh yeah, it's not too bad. To play the full 90 minutes, like 17 AA. 10 of that was a clean sheet. This one, again, 15 AA, but 10 of it was a clean sheet. That's the one they lost. What did he get here? Yeah, he got 45 AA in this game. Just lots of passes, I guess. Again, clean sheet. Meh. Here's another option. Again, we were saying we were short on challenger defenders, so he certainly might come into the fold at some stage in a good matchup. But yeah, it's not terrible, I guess. So yeah, that about wraps up this video. Oh, one thing in case anyone hasn't noticed and you play Rivals, I think that Top Scout is now just being added as a third option every single week now. I know it was mentioned as requested a fair bit the last few times I've been in Discord. It looks like they've finally gone with it to help people out who haven't got tickets. So if you haven't got tickets and you do want to get some tickets, you can always get it via Top Scout. um, which I think will help with like squads. Like it seems like everyone's playing a lot more games than they ever used to. So, like I mean, me this week, I'm in rough shape. Um, I just haven't played enough games. I started early in the week this week, and I just have not played games yet. Um, so I'm miles behind, miles off the pace already, like 40 points behind the first. So I'm never getting first. But I'll work on the squad, make sure the squad does well this week. But yeah, I suppose that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Uh, I've got one more day at work, and then I'm off. So then hopefully, I want to say Monday or Tuesday, I'll be able to post the update on how the gallery's looking with the in season. I was hoping to do it earlier this week, but I just never got the time. So hopefully Monday or Tuesday it should be out. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. So if you've enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, all of that nonsense. It really does help, and I'll catch you on the next one.